Well, hello, my friends. Another game. Yes, I've been a good girl. Set some time aside, found the cutest little game for us to play for the Solitaire print and play contest. Of course, links below, Sir Thecos below, fun, more madness below. But I hear you, all right? Listen, maybe word games aren't your thing. Not into Wordle, don't enjoy that sort of thing. You're a numbers person. You're a numbers person and you love Sudoku. All right, I hear you. And I raise you. Hide nor Hare. This is an adorable little print and play. It's by Uber Dante, who has submitted it to the 2022 Solitaire print and play contest. And in this particular game, you have some really cute little animal friends who decide they want to play a game of hide and seek, all right? So they are going to hide and seek in a park with some trees. I know, are you dying? I'm dying. Okay, but the rules of the game are Sudoku, all right? So you're trying to fill the board in this game of hide and seek in a way that every row and column has one friend and one tree in it. So, this would be totally acceptable, right? Can't do this because in this row we have 5 trees. You can't have 5 trees in one row. So let's go something like this. We'll just do the diagonal. Now every row has a tree, every column has a tree, and we stick our friends around them in such a way, following the Sudoku placement rules, that friend, he would go here. All right, so this would be a valid game of hide and seek. Every row and every column, it contains one friend and one tree. Okay, I know what you're thinking. You think, Chrissy, this is looking kind of easy. It is, but there are some additional rules for placement, and this is where the strategy and the fun of this game comes in. It's hide and seek, right? How is that represented? The trees. The trees block line of sight. So for example, this little fox is so well hidden, if you look orthogonally in either direction, no one can see him, right? In fact, all of my little buddies are very well hidden. If we look orthogonally, you can't see each other, all right? So that's a fun game of hide and seek. But we're going to make it a little more difficult because we are going to kind of take a bird's eye view of this, and we're going to tabulate how this is working with these wonderful little tokens. So a 0 says from this point on the board, wherever I put my 0, I cannot see any friends. So is there anywhere on the board? So for instance, right here. If I look orthogonally, if I was standing on this 0 and I look orthogonally, this tree blocks the fox, this tree blocks the bug, so this guy from this spot can find no friends, okay? Similarly, let's see if we can find a nice 2 spot. Here's a nice 2 spot right here. If I was standing here, I would be able to see the snaky friend, and I would be able to see the cute little puppy here, but I wouldn't be able to see any others, all right? Typical Sudoku rules modified for the numbers. So for these numbers, the only rule is you cannot have a repeating number in the column or the row. So I can't put, let's say, another 2 here, okay? Because I already have a 2 here, but I don't have to have all the numbers on the board. In order to win the game, we're going to play easy mode. I only need 9 correct hide and seek numbers, plus a tree and an animal in every row and column to win the game. So you don't have to complete the whole grid. We only need all of the animals, all of the trees, and 9 correct numbers. You can have incorrect numbers on the board, doesn't matter, as long as 9 of them are correct. Now, if you ever have to place a number and you can't, you have to replace with a rock. And that's basically a dead space. Doesn't block line of sight, but you can't put an animal, you can't put a tree, you can't put a hide and seek number, right? So this just kind of gums up the works. And the way you decide how to place them are by rolling 3 wonderful little die. You roll them, and then you get to assign them to either a friend, a tree, or a number. Use the value to determine what row or column, your pickies, you want to place it. You don't ever have to. You could do all three on number if you want to, or divide them up however you like, right? So I could place this way if I like. Okay. This is one of those games that's so easy to understand. I think if you just play it, that we're just gonna jump right in. We're gonna try and place all of our friends and all of our trees, and then we're gonna pick spots to play the hide and seek game. And we're gonna say how many little kids we can see. And if we can find 9 spots on the board and we can assign the correct values, we're going to win the game. I know, it sounds super easy. This is one of those games where you're like, come on now, this looks super easy. And then you start to play it. I'm sure there's a strategy. I've only played it a couple times this morning, so clearly I have not found said strategy, but I thought, what the heck? It's so flipping cute. I enjoy playing it. So let me show you and, see if maybe you'll enjoy it too. All right, 2, 4, 5. So in the beginning, the one tip I can tell you is never, ever, ever place something on the 2, 2 coordinate, okay? Let's say for fun, I decide to place an animal on 2, 2. If I roll another 2, I cannot place any of my little critters on either of the cross grids. I have blocked off every 2 on the board with one placement for an animal. Same with a tree. All right. So it's much better to place it on a 2, 3 or a 2, 5 or a 2, 6 because it leaves all these other 2s open. All right. First tip that I've learned in this game. Don't, if you can, avoid the center diagonal line because man, does it eliminate your choices. So let's go ahead, just for the fun of it, we'll do a friend, a tree, and a number. So on row, anywhere on row or column 2, we're gonna stick a friend. So let's put a friend right here. The little piggy, he's gonna hide in the corner. And then a 4, he's, you know what, he's a smart little piggy. So he's gonna hide behind this tree right here, okay? So now this row satisfies one friend and one tree. So we won't be able to put any more friends or trees up here. We can put numbers, which is good, because we happen to have a 5. And I'm gonna say that zeros are the hardest to place. So let's say that if I'm standing here on this 5, we can say, oh, I bet I'm going to be able to see one critter. I'm just going to pick something out of the blue right now. We can always, it can be incorrect, right? We can always replace it with a rock. So the numbers are the most malleable I've found to kind of play around with. Our next roll, ooh, double 3s are interesting. So one thing about double 3s is you can use it to just put a rock. So I could say on 3, I'm gonna place a 0, and then I'm gonna take it away and make it a rock, right? I'll explain that more later. That might have been confusing. Once the board fills up, we'll see how rocks work. But you can use a double 3 to place a number and blow it up in a rock all in one turn. Probably going to see that later on. But for now, we're not jammed up, so let's go ahead and say for our 3, well, we can't put an animal here, right? Because we already have an animal on this row. And we can't put a tree here because we already have a tree on this row. But we can reverse it. So what if we do that? What if we put our animal and our tree, okay? So that's my 3 and that's my 4. Number, okay, so I've committed to saying if I'm standing here, I can see one animal. All right, that was a choice. And if I'm standing here, I bet I will only be able to see one animal. What do we think about that? Sure, let's say that for now, okay? All right, we're good with that. Let's go. Let's see what we get next. Oh, double 6s and a 5. We are all over the place here. Okay. Okay, so animal and tree. I like to let's get some of these down. Okay, let's think here. So this little piggy, I've said I'm only going to be able to see one standing here. So I could put something on this side, down here. I have no numbers here, so I can't put another 1 on this column because I have a 1. I could put a 2 though if I felt like it. I don't have a 6 or a 5, so maybe I'll look down here. All right, let's look down here. What if we say standing here, I can see one animal. It's going to be this little bug. He's going to go here. And what if we say standing here, I can see 2 animals. All right. I can see these guys. And for my 5 slot, what line of sight do I want to block? How about blocking line of sight here? Sure, why not? Let's stick one here. All right, looks good, looks good. All right, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so he says he can see 1. He says he can see 2. Okay, I like that. I haven't decided what we're doing with Piggy, and I do have a 2. So what if for Pig we say, what if we say 2? I could give it a number. I already have a 1. Can't make it a 0 because we can see the pig. So we could call it a 2, or I think I'd rather not do that. I feel like I'm kind of locking myself in and I don't need to. So let's look at this spot here, this 2 row. That could be a friend or it could be a tree. Both are available. However, whatever it is, it can only be able to see one thing. Okay, so then what if we put a tree on the 4? Okay, that's still only seeing 1, and then he's seeing 1, and then he's seeing 2, so we're okay. So if we put a tree on the 4, and we put a friend on the 2 or the 3, doesn't really matter. Does that break anything? You can only see 1. Now I think we're good. And then a 3. Ooh. Ooh. Do we want to get fancy? Let's get fancy. I could make that my 2. Okay, let's double check really fast before we do that, just to make sure I'm not breaking any rules. Okay. Okay, so there's a problem already. I have 2 friends down here when I put this ant. Gosh darn it. Okay, so I'm just going to take them off. I misplayed that. Sorry about that. Because I know the piggy went on first. So I wasn't allowed to put Mr. Ant here because I already had an animal in that row. And I'm pretty sure if I remember right, Mr. Ant was a 6. So I'm just going to stick him down here for now. And we'll just call that good. But that messes up my 2, but whatever. The hardest part of this game is keeping track of the Sudoku aspect of it. Okay, so this has a tree and an animal. This has a tree and an animal. We're good. That has a tree and an animal. It doesn't have a tree. Tree. Okay, we're good. All right. So I think we're okay with that. So let's reroll. Ooh, interesting. 1, 6, 5. So I gotta fix this because I broke it somehow. Because I put that darn animal here. And I'm saying I can see 1, and I'm saying I can see 2. Oh, I can see 2. Oh, that was awesome. Good job, me. Okay. So on my 1 line, what are we looking at? We're looking at corner space, 5 or 6, and then anything down here. So maybe we'll fill in down here a little bit. What are we thinking? So this guy is saying he can see 1, and he can't. So what if we do friend on 1, and now that's correct, he can see 1. We do need a tree on here. And if I want to, I would love to put a tree up here maybe. I don't think I can. All right, I would love to block line of sight. Oh, tree. I've only got 2 trees left, so they have to go on this row or this row. And I did roll a 6, so let's do that. Let's put a tree here. So the problem is these darn numbers, right? I need 9 that are correct. I only have 4, so I need to start aggressively working toward these numbers. And since we only have 1 friend left, and we know he has to go on this row, right? And he can't go here. My last friend has to fall here, which means this guy will only ever be able to see 1. Okay. And I have a 5 left. I can't put my friend here. So my last friend placement, and one of the tricks is like when you know there's only 1 spot left on the board, I like to put him upside down. Because that just tells me, hey, that's the only place he's going to be able to go. So I need to make sure I leave that spot open, that I don't put a tree or something weird on it. So I'm just going to put that upside down for now. Same with the tree. I only have 1 spot left where I can have a tree, and that is here. So I'm going to put him upside down as well. Okay, so that means I'm playing with column 5, and it has to be a number. This guy's a 1, but he already has a 1. This guy's a 1 and doesn't have 1. All right. So let's do that. Okay, we're looking for some 6s, 4s, or 2s. We got them. All right, that's great. So let's go ahead and place them where we just said. So we'll do our friend on 6, and we'll rotate him around. Boom. We'll do our tree on 2. We'll rotate him around, and now comes the hard part, trying to find the correct hide and seek squares. This is where these rocks are going to come into play. So for 5, and this point, we can see nobody. This is good. Okay, we see nobody. Great. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We need 3 more. 3 more spots. Come on. Okay. On 6, so we already have a 0 and a 2, so we can only place a 1, and that's a lie. On here we have a 1, so we can't place a 1, but we could place a 2. We could place a 2, and that would be true. Okay. 4. 4 at this spot could see 2, and that would be true. We're so close. And then on my 2 drop, I can't put a 2 here because I have a 2 here. I could put a 0 here because you can't see anyone, right? A 0. Okay, did we do it? Do we have 9? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we did it. We have 9. So this was okay, I had a little mistake on the bottom and I kind of fudged it a little bit, but I think we've won. Let's double check. Every row and column must have 1 animal and 1 tree. 1 animal and tree. Animal. Okay, so that's satisfied. Next, we can't have a duplicate on any row or column of the same number. So 2, 1, 0, 1, 2, 1, 2, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 2. Oh, so we have a 2, 2 here. Okay, darn it. Okay, so this one was incorrect, and that was the last one that I placed, and I believe it was the 4. Is there anywhere else we can put this darn 4 to make it true? So that can't be a 0. Shoot. This is a 2, but I already have a 2. This spot here is a 2. I already have a 2. Okay, let's check this way. This little dude, he can only see 1. He can only see 1. Wait. Is that right? He can only see 1, and I haven't placed a 1. Okay, 0, 0. So, okay, I think we did it. Like I said, double checking to make sure you followed the placement rules can be a little bit tricky on this. Don't sweat it. It's a solo game. You're playing by yourself. If you miss a placement up, just keep going, right? It's like playing piano. If you hit the key wrong, you keep playing the piece. You don't stop in the middle of your performance. I didn't get a chance to show you how rocks worked, but you know, it's a way like to, if you get stuck and you have to place something somewhere, you can instead take off a number and put in a rock. Okay, it does slow you down eventually, and you can see once all your trees and people are placed, the more you have to roll, the harder it gets to keep all of your little logic puzzle in place. You want challenging? Try and get 11 of these numbers correct. You will be tearing your hair out. There is no, at this point, like scoring to see how well you do. Maybe he'll add it in later. Right now, he's really looking for feedback. How easy is the game? How fun is the game? Are there any rules changes that you would recommend? Super cute, super sweet, very strong Sudoku vibes on like a lower level because you're not dealing with as many factors, right? Getting the animals and the trees down, super easy. Getting the hide and seek numbers correct, that gets hard really fast. Anyway, this is Hide nor Hare, one of the games entered this year. There are more coming in. I'm sure Sir Thecos is going to show some more, but I think this might be the last one before I head out. So, my friends, have a wonderful summer, play some wonderful games, and I will talk to you soon.